Welcome to Urban Homestead Radio, preserving a homegrown way of life. Thanks to the support of our sponsor, Lehmans. For over 60 years, they have provided practical, non-electrical tools, appliances, and home goods. When technology fails, their products will certainly work. Check out their website at lehmans.com. That's Lehmans.com.
Back to the future, back to the plan. Right down there on the urban homestead, loving the life back into the land. Oh, 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 help the garden grow. Oh, 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 help the garden grow.
Hi, homesteaders. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Anais from the Urban Homestead in Pasadena. It's June. We've gotten June gloom coming up, and of course, between quarantine and curfew, we are definitely living in uncertain times. Speaking of uncertain times, today we're going to talk about boosting our mental and emotional health. And I have the pleasure of interviewing my friend and fellow herbalist, Christina Chan. Thank you, Christina, for joining me again today.
Yep, thank you for having me again.
Yeah, so I just interviewed, if you didn't catch it, I interviewed Christina on boosting immunity, and that episode was episode 89. So if you want to go back and check that out, I recommend you doing so. A little history of how we met is about 6 years ago, you came to the Front Porch Farm stand?
So I would say 6 years ago, I came during that time, I was in massage school. So one of my massage classmates, she asked me like, hey, I'm going to go pick up some duck eggs. Do you want to go to the homestead? And I was like, I've heard of this place. It's on my list of things I want to go check out. So that was a great opportunity. So that's how I met Anais.
Yes, and we connected over herbs, of course, and been friends ever since. So tell us, besides how we met, maybe a little background on how you became an herbalist or your wellness journey, how you, are, where you are today.
So basically, I've always loved herbs, nature. I grew up really close to the mountains, so I was fortunate enough to have 5 acres of land. And as a kid, that was my solace. Like, I felt at ease with nature. My family life was a little bit turbulent, so nature was my way of escaping from the craziness of family life. But I also loved art as well. So I went to art school. It was a toss-up between art school or going to herbal school, and I chose art. And then after art school, I kind of went back into holistic healing. So I went and studied herbs, massage therapy, essential oils. I worked at a Chinese herb shop for about 3 years. So it's been a pretty cool journey with herbs.
It's fascinating too, and you're always teaching me, learning things like, hey, did you know?
Right.
Like right now, before she went on air, what were you putting on your ankles?
Right before we started recording, I grabbed some elderberry leaves and I rubbed it against my feet and my legs because I'm a mosquito magnet.
Well, but there's a particular mosquito now, an invasive mosquito that we have deemed the ankle biters. And so that's what you were preventing them from biting your ankles.
Yes, because basically I swell up. When they bite me, it's basically like I get like hives almost. They're very, very painful and itchy. But I found that by just rubbing the elder leaves on my skin, it really prevents it.
Yeah, so again, learn something new every day.
Yeah, it's better than spraying DEET on you.
Yeah. So, like I said and introduced at the very start of the podcast, we're living in uncertain times between quarantine and now curfews. Was a time of crisis, loss of jobs. We were not able to go to movies, schools, or restaurants up to last week, and then now with the curfews, who knows? Even hang with friends or families, which is all causing a strain on our well-being. Self-care is not just a physical, but emotional. We need, the emotional support, and it's more important because of the anxiety and stresses that are caused by the pandemic, and now just what's going on in the world. And before, if we were struggling, we'd call up a friend and say, "Hey, let's go hang out. Let's go take a walk." And but these last 3 months, being stuck at home, even in LA, our outdoor escapes were shut down up to point hiking trails and beaches. We couldn't even do that. So for me, I'm lucky that I'm surrounded by family and the garden filled with birds and butterflies, and don't forget the chickens and the ducks.
Right.
And the garden keeps me sane and grounded. But however, I am struggling in my own thing with like extreme tiredness, even though I'm not busy. I don't have the workshops and tours and stuff. And I'm like, I listen to my body. So extreme tiredness is what I'm combating. Let's talk about that as as we segue into boosting our emotional and well-being. So
Right. So that's a very common feature, is to be really, really tired. I've been very fatigued as well. I think last month there was like a couple of days where my brain was not working. I couldn't focus. I just wanted to sleep, and I was napping all the time, but I was still tired. So there's a lot of things that we could do to really help boost up our physical awareness, but also like mental and emotional health. That is, of course, getting enough sleep. I know it's really hard to get the full 8 hours of sleep right now, just because with so many things going on in the world, there's a lot of unknowns. And the unknown is giving us anxiety because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone just the next few hours. We don't know what's going on. So it's very important to stay present and grounded. Today I was feeling very anxious. I couldn't focus. Art is what I do to help me deal with my stress. I write children's books. I illustrate them. So I couldn't do that today just because there's so much things going on in my mind. So I made sure to go outside. I put a timer on my phone for 10 minutes. So I went outside, set the timer, and I just zoned out. I just sat outside. I looked at the trees. I looked at the clouds. I looked at the monarch caterpillar that's been hanging out at the homestead. And it was refreshing. And nature definitely really helps with dealing with stress. And I know a lot of people live in apartments. They don't really have access to nature, and that's really hard because right now, like parks, it might not be the best place to be right now with everything that's going on. So other ways that I deal with stress and anxiety is meditation, doing really short 5-minute meditations. There's a great app called Calm, CALM, and I believe it's free, but if you pay like a membership, you get more like access to more materials, and it's a great resource for just guided meditation. There's bedtime stories that you could listen to with very soothing voice actors. A lot of times, like celebrities, they would narrate the stories just to help you sleep. Other things I really enjoy doing is short bursts of exercise. I know Anais, she's seen me in the garden doing my jumping jacks.
You're up to how many now?
500. Yay! I'm up to 500.
Okay.
So it's but I don't do them all at once. I'll do maybe like 100, and then I'll go back in the house and I'll do whatever that I was doing, like writing or drawing. And then when that time is up, I go outside and I do my other 100. So I kind of like space them out, and it also gets me to go outside, get some fresh air, get some vitamin D, which is you do need it for it's great for people who are feeling like anxious or sad. Like there's a lot of studies done on vitamin D that could actually help with like depression and anxiety.
You would think, here at the homestead, we shouldn't have anxiety or depression or these things, but it's just the state of the world. It's the state of what's happening, and it infiltrates. You feel the energy, that vibration, and so, and yeah, it's a struggle. And like I said, it's okay to say, "Hey, I'm not okay right now, and I need to do something about it."
Yes,
I need to stop or change a routine or have a routine. Even sometimes because we don't have jobs, we don't have that routine anymore. We're just like, some people, they don't even know what day it is anymore. We've lost time and sense of where we are in even the calendar year. So yes, even just like, okay, today I'm going to have a routine, and everything works different for and things work different for everybody. So you have to just find what works for you.
Yeah, and I've also been Zooming a lot. Anais has seen me Zooming. I've been Zooming.
I Zoom today too.
Yeah, okay. Like I Zoom. I'm part of 2 writers group. So we used to meet every month in person, but because of quarantine, we can't. So we Zoom. And I just formed a new writers group, and everybody is scattered all across the states. It's a really cool group, so we're Zooming as well, and I Zoomed a few of my friends last week, so it was nice. So definitely like connection, definitely connection with family, with friends. It's so important.
Yeah, be in touch with people. We need each other. Like I said, we're in this together. We are all in this together. I mean, we literally need each other.
Yeah.
To get through this. So, what are some of the maybe for people who don't know? What are some of maybe the herbs or even foods that can help boost mental or emotional well-being? Yes, the boosters.
Okay, so let's start with like herbs. So a couple of my favorite herbs. I really do love kava kava. It's a root from the Polynesian islands, and it's a very nice. It's a muscle relaxant, but it's not like it's gonna cause you to like be numb or anything. But it's a great anti-anxiety, anti-stress root. It's available as a tincture form, which I really enjoy taking just because it's quick. So a tincture is basically an herbal extraction that's extracted with alcohol, and it's like a high proof alcohol, like a grain alcohol. So with alcohol, it goes into your bloodstream quicker. So you tend to feel the effects of the herbs that's a tincture quicker than if you take like capsules, like herbal powders, or drink herbal tea. So I definitely do recommend, if you can, get kava kava in tincture form. Another herb I really like that's more commonly available is lemon balm. It grows here at the Homestead. It smells amazing. It has like that nice, fresh, lemony smell. But it's also great for just like anti-stress. It's really, really calming. It has a very uplifting energy, almost like basically like sunshine. Like it has that like that energetic sense of just like infusing you with like joy and everything's gonna be okay. Because I think right now it's like it's the unknown that's scary right now. So I said kava kava, lemon balm. Obviously, lavender is another fantastic one. Lavender, I really enjoy using the essential oil. So
what? Take a lavender bath.
Yeah, lavender bath. Like do 1 or 2 drops in a bath. What you could also do is what I like to do is maybe put like 2 drops in my hand, and then rub it vigorously together, and then I put it. I kind of rub my hands on the pillow in the bed, so you get like that essence of lavender. But lavender is also great for calming the emotions. It's kind of like it's good for emotional trauma. So there's some herbs that's good for trauma, like arnica. Arnica, like the homeopathic remedy, arnica is great for any sort of physical trauma, like bruising, contusions, you fall, etc. So lavender essential oil is kind of considered like the arnica in a sense, because it has very protective and healing qualities. So if anybody's going through like a hard time, like grief or loss, like lavender is a really, really great oil to just kind of like, you could just sniff it, like, like a couple times a day, just kind of like inhale deeply and just like take a couple of deep breaths. And with lavender, I also like to combine it with rose geranium essential oil. Now those are like wonderful combos for really calming down like the nervous system. It has a very nurturing, very loving energy to it. And I really love the smell of rose geranium.
Yeah, no, those are some good ones, and you can even grow them in your yard. So
yes,
or find somebody that does. Even smelling, like I said, if you can't even get the essential oil, go out and grab a handful and just crush it and smell it. So that's the fastest way you can kind of boost it. It goes right into your nostrils and right straight to your brain. You can just feel that, what do they call that? Aromatherapy.
Aromatherapy, yes, yeah. And also, like another herb I really like is also skullcap. Skullcap is another fantastic herb that really helps soothe it calms down your central nervous system. So it's just very relaxing. It's very like I find it that it helps with mind chatter. So if you're like overthinking, like you're worrying, you're thinking all the time, you can't turn it off, Skullcap is really good for that, and you can find it in capsules. I personally like it as a tincture, but for those who can't take alcohol, then you could definitely get like the capsules.
Those are all good ones. So wow, there's so, as I said, the world of herbs is so immense, and like I said,
Right.
certain things work better for other people. So it's a fascinating thing.
Hmm. And also, just a couple other things I like to add is like flower essences. Now, these are definitely different. They're kind of under the homeopathic remedy umbrella, which is more on the energetics of the remedy. So, flower essences are made mostly from flowers, sometimes the leaves, and sometimes they're made from trees. So, what flower essences do is they help calm, depending on the flower essence. It deals mostly with mental and emotional challenges. So, a few of them that I feel like is really important right now is a couple of flowers. One is aspen, and it's made from the aspen tree. So, aspen, the flower essence of it, deals with unknown fears. So, like the fear of the unknown, generalized anxiety that you can't really place where the fear is coming from. Definitely look into aspen. Another really great remedy is mimulus. And mimulus, kind of like aspen, it also deals with fear, but mimulus is more for known fears, like specific phobias, like fear of flying, fear of freeways. So it's more for like specific fears.
Mm-hmm.
And another one I really like is white chestnut. So that's a bit like the skull cap, where it kind of helps you calm down repetitive thoughts, monkey brain. Like you can't shut up your thoughts, so you can't sleep. A lot of people take white chestnut before they go to sleep because it just helps them not overthink too much things.
Yeah. So speaking of, like I said, and, the fear of the unknown and things, I'm finding myself with a little bit of anxiety when, things started opening up. The thing I was sensing was confusion and anxiety with dealing with the new normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting a little anxious when I was out shopping and there was a bunch of people, or if I'm dealing with a farm box customer, new protocols. And sometimes I get triggered like a PTSD because certain things trigger me, like when you're walking and somebody walks around you like, you have the plague, which I understand, but it triggers something.
Mm-hmm.
We're all trying to be safe and they have no harm intended, but it's a trigger. And of course, some people now are being triggered all over the place. So, speaking of calm and calmness and anxieties and fears, is there any, we talked about that, but what are some of the things that we can maybe, with this new normal, how can we reprogram or help us, deal with it?
Right. So, there's it's so hard because everybody deals with it differently. Some people adapt very easily, and some people it's hard. Like for some people, it's like if they can't go to like a 9 to 5 job, it's like, whoa, like what just happened? So it really depends on, I would say, your personality and um, and where you are in life. Because I also feel like there's also this restlessness in people now, like the feeling of being very helpless. Like so many things going on right now, like the curfew and then the protest. Like I feel like some people, they deal with it by being active, like going to the protest. And then what about the people who can't? Well, then you could donate money to the cause and stuff like that. So
Being proactive.
but taking like the right action, being proactive, but also a couple of herbs that I would recommend for times like this would definitely be like just as we're talking, like more herbs are like coming up to my mind. So some good herbs to take definitely right now would be cordyceps, which is a type, I think I mentioned it last time.
Right.
It's a type of mushroom, but it helps boost up your immune system, but it's great for like the respiratory tract and the respiratory health. But it's also it's a adaptogen, so it helps us adapt to stress. So a lot of times what's going on right now, we need to take herbs that helps us adapt to stress. Which means it makes our bodies stronger. It makes our minds stronger. It makes our emotions stronger. So we're not as affected by the world. We don't. How do I say this?
Yeah,
We
I mean,
don't-
it's like that. We're human, so it's two things: we're fight or flight.
Yes,
what
fight or flight.
That's
Yes.
all we're programmed to do: fight or flight. So it's the adaptation.
So so basically the adaptogen will, instead of you fighting and flight, fighting or flying, like you'll be calm and kind of like deal with whatever is coming at you with a calmer mind. So like astragalus, cordyceps, ginseng is one of my favorites. Rhodiola as well. That's a really great one. And I need to see what else. I think those are the ones I would definitely. And Schisandra berries.
Yeah.
Those are great. I love Schisandra berries. It's a wonderful adaptogen. It's great for women. It's great for the skin. It makes your skin really silky and smooth. It helps with your liver. It helps with your kidneys. It's a fantastic herb. I really love it. I make my own Schisandra tincture. I just buy the whole berries and I steep them in alcohol, like vodka.
So what kind of alcohol?
Yeah, I use vodka. Some people use grain alcohol, like really, that stuff is really strong. Anything that's, I want to say it's anything above 70 proof, I believe. Yeah. Because it acts as a preservative as well.
So how long do you let your tincture sit, and how you make it?
So traditionally the best way is a year, but I use it within the month. You know, if I could wait until like 2 or 3 months, the better. But you could start using it in the month.
Cool. So that's something people can do. Take their energy and make something. I know a lot of
make
people,
your own medicine.
Yeah, make your own medicine. A lot of people being stuck at home are learning new skills. You know, gardening is picking up. Baking, of course, everybody's in the baking. And then instruments, people are picking up instruments. So it's good to see people taking that energy and putting it into something. And that's what we're talking about. It's like taking something, taking this energy, bottling it, and putting it into something that can be done that's proactive and positive.
Right. Like I see a lot of people writing more, drawing, art. I think it's just.
I know it's kind of good that
it's
that's
good.
one of the good things that has come out of this sort of uncertainty is people reconnecting to things. Maybe this person hasn't picked up a guitar since they were kids, or didn't even know anything about planting tomato. Now they're doing that, and that's what's the thing that that I've found some more comforting to see, that is how these people are just reskilling, and that's been amazing. And so what have you, anything that you've reskilled, like something new that you've done during this? Or maybe bumped up in your...
Well, definitely writing. I've been taking a lot of fantastic children's book writing courses online, and it's just been great because like the community itself is great. Like everybody, we're on the same page. We want to write stories that really inspire others, especially children, to make the world a better place. So it's been great to be like brainstorming with other creatives, and it's been like Anais says, like people who I've always wanted to write a children's book, but I never had time, and now I have all this time, and now I could finally like get back into this passion of mine. So I think it's fantastic that they're able to channel these uncertain times into something that's creative.
Yeah, that's important, and I think it's just really been amazing to see that, and so that gives me hope, and I think we need hope in these times. And like I said, positive reinforcements. Even like I said, listening to music, reading poems. This whole sort of bringing that positive energy in. To combat the negativity or the uncertainty. We need to drum that up. I had a singer on the podcast this afternoon. I was recording again, and she was like, the songs from the heart. We need to sing it out. We need to just when she was singing, my whole body just was tingling, because I hadn't had live music in a while here at the Homestead, and it just like I started just feeling it, her voice and her vibration. It was just so powerful, and how words are powerful, how songs are powerful, how gardening is a powerful thing, how art is a powerful thing. these are the powerful things that we can create,
Right.
and bring into this world.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's important. And boosting the health and the well-being of this world and ourselves is just
Right.
positivity, just putting it out there.
Yeah, and I also find it journaling has helped me a lot. It's a very simple process, journaling. You're basically just writing out how you're feeling, what you're afraid of, your hopes. But the act of writing it out somehow switches something in your brain, because it's like it's almost like you're mentally and emotionally unloading onto the paper, so you're not holding onto these heavy energies. So what I like to do is sometimes, if I'm feeling very unsure about myself and I'm feeling very kind of lost, like there's many uncertainties right now, I would just journal it. I would just, I could spend a long time journaling. So I normally set a timer, give myself maybe like 10 minutes, and just see what comes up. Like, and you'll be surprised. Like, if you just write out whatever is in your mind, and then like don't stop, just write it all out. And once the timer stops, you could look back at what you've written, and sometimes you'll be as surprised what comes out of you. And I think it's always good to
You have to get it out.
get it out. Yeah, don't hold it in. Like, never, like all the holistic healing, like, never, don't hold in heavy emotions, because it's like a dam. The more you dam up your emotions, it's gonna come out someday, some way. And most of the time it comes out as either like anger, or like maybe instability. So it's a good idea. Self-doubt, self-doubt, low self-esteem. So it's better. So I find journaling a great way to just kind of unleash.
Yeah, that's
emotions.
a good one. That's simple.
It's simple.
It doesn't cost you a thing.
Doesn't cost you a thing.
It doesn't cost
No.
you, and that's the thing. And writing used to be a lot. Now, and even like I said, just go out and smell a flower and look at the sky. Sometimes I think people forget to look up and just look at what's out there. We're always focused on, I have to do this, and I have, and this. And I notice that people at the farm, picking up at the farm box, of course, I can't see their face anymore, and you can't see if they're smiling. I don't even know. It's hard to read people's emotions now without that, that smiling, you don't know. But I sense that, some people, they're just, we're all in this, before it'd be like, hey, how are you doing? And now it just seems like just people come and pick up their boxes. I mean, we do, some do greet, but it's still, I feel like this uncertainty with people. We're not sure what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to act, and if even being out isn't even good anymore. So we're just it's so confusing. I'm confused, So it's this bizarre time. So we need just any little bit helps.
Yeah, and also I'm just going. I feel like I'm like jumping all over the place, but going back to the flower essences. Another remedy has come up that I feel like would be good for people to know is sweet chestnut. So it's made from the sweet chestnut tree. And
that's different than the one that you just said.
Yes, it's different from the white chestnut. So sweet chestnut is all about, it instills in us hope. Again, it's for people who feel like they lost everything, or there's no hope anymore. So I feel like that's a very strong remedy that I feel like a lot of people need.
Yeah, hope is a powerful word. We need that.
Yeah.
If we can ingest it and take it in at some form, I think hope is with 2020 being just started off with Australian fires and just seems one thing after another.
Yeah,
and
it's
just,
crazy.
And what keeps me is just like faith and hope. It's faith in him. That faith that we're still here. We planted seeds, faith in tomorrow, and hope for tomorrow, and just doing every bit we can do. But like I said, it's a challenge. And what? Be honest, it's tough. Okay, we just have to say it is.
It's hard.
It's
hard. Definitely hard.
There's no doubt about it. So there's no sugarcoating it. There's no. It's brutal. It's rough. It's hard. It's confusing. It's all that. So, don't think, maybe I'm just it's a rough time. So we're just going to have to just say it and then deal with it. So.
Yeah.
So, wow, we're almost coming to the end of our podcast. Anything maybe did we not touch base on you want to share?
So, I do want to say that Isaac Newton, there was I believe it was one of the plagues that happened. And he was teaching at a university at that time. So because of the plague, all the schools were stopped. So he moved back home with his parents. And I think that plague lasted like 2 years as well, 1 or 2 years. And basically during that time, he invented calculus, and he also started questioning about gravity. So I just thought it's an inspirational story, just because it's like, he used that quarantine time to contribute something to the world.
Okay. Yeah. And on that note, how can people follow you? Some of your things. So
I'm on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Random Happy Chris, and also for the flower essences, you could definitely check out the Bach flower lines, BACH. You could just Google it. Another resource that I really love is the Flower Essence Society. They're based in California, and they have a huge catalog of amazing flower essences with fantastic information on it as well.
All good stuff. So thank you again for joining us and
thank you.
Talking about this. It's a hard subject to talk about, and we don't even touch the surface. And so thank you for sharing your love and the wealth of knowledge of herbs with us, and just talking this out. We hope that everyone is well and safe.
Yes, please be safe.
Yes,
everybody.
and to hope. And
yep.
to hope for the future, and to just I don't know. There's so much words. I don't even know how to end it.
Yeah.
Just like everybody, virtual hug. We were sending healing vibes to everybody.
Yes.
And just we're gonna get through this, and so we just keep being positive, showing positive. Just not even be positive. Just show positivity. We need to show the positivity to combat the darkness and the trials that we did. So let's just all be positive and show the positivity, and hopefully we can change the world.
Yeah, take it a day at a time.
Let's go down to the urban homestead, Pasadena by the freeway. Right down there on the urban homestead, Jules and his family are working away. Come on down to the farm in the city, back to the future, back to the plan. Right down there on the urban homestead.
We love to hear your feedback or questions. Visit us at urbanhomestead.org to check out what's happening on the homestead. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And until next time, keep on growing.